Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Industry in Transition podcast / Zoomcast. We're very lucky to have our friend Tad Edwards with us. And Tad, I was going to ask you, but I think this might turn into a question. What's your title? I know you guys are a partnership there, but I was going to say CEO. I was going to say managing partner. What is it?
Yeah, it's I guess it's founder, chairman, and CEO.
There we go. There we go. But the interesting part of that question was that it is a partnership.
Yes, yeah, we've got a number of owners here. We spread the wealth, we spread the ownership, and we've got employees, our family, and then some friends of the firm that are highly successful around the country that we've known for many years, and that's it. No private equity money, no venture capital, no institutional money. So we like it that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the way to be if you can make it happen. It's interesting because in the world today, there's sort of a back to the future element, right? The firms are sort of these smaller, independent firms. They all have an equity component to what they do, and it's enticing to advisors because everybody wants to be part of something that's where they have some ownership, right? That's in my mind, that's a huge sort of pull out of the larger banks. However, that being said, I don't think advisors ask enough questions. Just like you said, there's no, you don't have any of this venture capital, vulture capital in there. I don't think advisors ask who's really behind this thing. I'm going to bring my book and my accounts and, my clients who are like family to me to some entity. And I don't know what's behind it.
I think it's a great point, Tony, because I believe advisors and clients want to know wherever their advisor is, that they can be there forever and not be bought out. So no one here at Edwards ever looks over their shoulder. There's no fear, no paranoia. We control our destiny. We can't be bought out. And I don't think that's common everywhere.
Is that common everywhere? The answer is no, it's not common everywhere. And I don't think advisors, ask enough questions. They like the CEO that they talk to, and they know that they're getting some stock. But I mean, this is like, I always write about this like it's the cobbler's kids, have no shoes. They don't ask the right questions that they would ask about a regular investment. Where's the money coming from? Who owns it? What tranche is my security? Am I left out in the cold versus everybody else? Are you going to take a deal and then leave me behind? I mean, it's a serious question.
Well, I think we're very fortunate in that we also have no debt. We've never had one penny of debt at Edwards. And I think that makes our advisors and clients that know that, it gives them peace of mind, makes them feel comfortable and safe. And we are very fortunate. We've got a nice brand. We have a 134-year history, 5 generations of being client first, and our clients feel safe. They trust us. And I think the biggest question advisors have when they talk with anybody is, will my clients follow me to the new firm? And I don't know this for sure, but I think we are among the highest percentage of clients that transfer here. Almost everybody moves, because when the advisor says, I have an opportunity to go to Edwards, 134 years, 5 generations, and sometimes the advisor says, I've been invited to be an owner of the company.
Right.
And that elevates the relationship. It makes it more special. And so we feel very optimistic about the future.
Well, that's also a testament, I think, to the type of advisor you hire. So, a great advisor, their clients want to be with him. He's the brand, and or she's the brand, and they can make that happen.
Yeah. But, it's interesting you bring up the brand. I use this analogy sometimes. If a couple has a child, and let's say the child's 4 years old and they have an ear infection in the middle of the night, and let's say the mom or dad gets up and goes to Walgreens at midnight and gets some ear medication. The ear medication, there may be an XYZ medication for $9, and then there's Johnson & Johnson for $11. And you look at it and you say, hey, it's probably the exact same thing, made in the same plant maybe. But that's the power of the brand. Most of us would pay $11 because it's our child. And we think we may get a little bit of competitive edge there. And so I think when people look at going to a firm and they look at Edwards being 134 years and 5 generations, I think it gives some trust, some comfort, and they feel safe. And also that we can't be bought out and that they can control their destiny and their future.
Well, I mean, I agree. In my mind, outside ownership and outside money equals compromises. You look, I run these firms, right? They're smaller than yours, of course, but you make compromise. You make different decisions when there's an owner who needs to be paid back than you would make if you could just invest in the business long term.
Well, that's exactly right. And we've had 10 or 15 opportunities to open branches, which would have made us look good on paper and we would have gotten good publicity, but we turned all of them down, 10 or 15 of them, because they weren't the right fit. They were potentially toxic. It wasn't necessarily compliance.
Yeah.
They just weren't the right fit. They had another agenda, and they didn't really believe in our culture of not only treating clients, putting them first, but treating everybody in the office and everyone at the firm the way they like to be treated. So we still like those people, but we just think they'd be happier somewhere else. And we've got something that we think is pretty special. And I'm still a kid in a candy store, Tony, and I can't wait to get here every day. And I have a lot of fun.
You said something interesting, which is treat people the way they like to be treated, right? Which Jim Brinkley, who's the great former president of Legg Mason, used to call that the platinum rule, because you can't treat people the way they want to be treated unless you listen and you hear what they want, not what you want.
And I knew Jim Brinkley. He was a great guy, and there's a lot of good people out there. But you're right, you do have to listen, and we believe in giving our advisors a voice. 50% of our board of directors at Edwards are from the branches. They're in the field.
Wow.
They work with clients every day, and we value that input tremendously.
You did too. You're a broker too.
Yes, yeah. I worked as an advisor for a number of years, and probably 15 years. And I happened to get into branch management, and I was a regional manager. And I feel very fortunate I had that opportunity, but I absolutely loved being an advisor and working with clients.
It's the best job at the firm.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the best job at the firm if you have a firm that cares about advisors and what they do. It could be a challenging job if you feel like you're a cog in a wheel at a big bank. I think it's where they're constantly changing the comp plan on you. They're constantly, moving the needle, and they make all these decisions like we were talking about before, based on a quarterly, shareholders, that you're not necessarily a shareholder as a advisor.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about the comp plan, but I think in the last 13 years, I think we've modified minimally our comp plan only once or twice.
Yeah.
And that doesn't say we'll never modify it, but our purpose in being here is to give our advisors all the tools they need, give them freedom. We trust them. They know their clients better than we do. And we want to give them a world-class experience and exceed expectations to where they're happy and having fun every day.
So what about, obviously it speaks volumes about, the culture of the firm and what people are experiencing when they're there. What about the future? If someone looks at a smaller firm, they'll say, well, I might get good culture. I'm going to get a diminution in technology. I'm going to get a diminution in, services and products and things like that. I mean, I think that's the knock against everybody who's, outside of a big branch or a giant custodian.
Yeah. I mean, we just do it a little different, and I don't want to say it's better for everybody. I call our advisors every day, and I feel like that's so important. I do it not because I have to, because I love to do it. And I love to, my father used to run AG Edwards, and my dad would go to 100 branches every year and go in the branch and take them to dinner and meet their clients. And I do the same thing. I've been to almost all of we've got 83 branches in 30 states. I think we're in the top of the second inning, Tony. Yeah. And I treasure going out there and seeing our people and being where it happens, because our advisors are the ones that know the clients, and we want to give them a fabulous experience. And that's what we do every day here.
Well, it's fun when you're that's the things missing from a lot of firms, I think, is the fun, but from what you're saying, it looks like there's a lot of access to management. So if I'm an advisor in the field, it's pretty flat.
We answer our own phones.
Yeah.
I have no door on my office, and I get kidded for it occasionally, but everybody can come in here. I want to see people.
Yeah.
When I'm in town, Tony, I'm usually in town pre-COVID, 3 days a week. I'm on the road seeing branches and other things, 2 days a week normally. But I like to walk around and see everybody I can and say something to them, because they're all special. They're all part of our future. And we need them, and we're all part of a team, and I'm just part of the team. And we have great people. We hire like 1 out of 50 people,
Right.
because we want special people who are aligned with our goals and values and our mission statement.
It takes time. If you hire, nice brokers, you get nice clients. It's a bottom line. If a broker's a jerk, it guarantees his clients are jerks. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little. You mentioned the future, so let's talk a little bit about that. I'm interested. You have this independent channel. That's something people would like to hear about, I think. And then, sort of where do you see this going? And you said second inning. Where are we headed?
Yeah. Good question. We started off with our branch, our kind of crown jewel, our brokerage firm, but that's kind of like Coca-Cola, and we thought we'd add Diet Coke to the Coke, and we have our RIA channel, and we're really very agnostic about that, and different advisors want different things, and we didn't want people that wanted Diet Coke to have to go to get Diet Pepsi, so we added Diet Coke, and we've got 5 affiliates now around the country that are part of our Edwards Wealth Management RIA channel. It's working very well, and we're committed to continue to build our branch system the way we have been, and we can't wait to get to 100 branches and then 150. But it's more about the quality than the quantity. But yeah, it's a special place, so people want to be here, and we're also going to grow our RIA, Edwards Wealth Management. We're very excited about that, so we can do those simultaneously.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice because advisors are looking at everything. You have advisors in the field, and they want to change firms. They want to take a look at everything. And if you don't have the opportunity for them, and especially if you can deliver on the independent side, the same type of culture and quality that you're delivering on the regular office side, this traditional office side, I think you're in a good spot.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that maybe you're alluding to that I think is really important, and that our advisors think is very important, is, as long as they're accredited, we have a lot of advisors who own our private stock, and that's a big deal to them. It is very important to a lot of people and their families to make the transition from being an employee at their current company to becoming an equity owner. And I think that meets a lot of their needs. There's a lot of advisors out there that are entrepreneurial, and they can come in this business, put up no capital, and be an advisor and do fine. But when they're an owner and they can walk around and own part of the firm, and when their clients know they own part of the firm, I think it elevates the relationship. It's like, Tony, if you and I were going to a restaurant in New York City, and I'm a big Italian restaurant fan, especially in New York because they're so good. Yeah. If we go in there and the host or hostess says, "Let's sit over here," I'm good. I'm pretty easy to please. But if the owner comes up and says, "Tony and Tad, I'll take you in the kitchen. I'll take you in the kitchen. What do you feel like tonight? Where do you want to sit?" It just kind of elevates the relationship. It makes it a little more fun. It's more special. Yeah. And so when an advisor becomes an owner of Edwards, I think they're in a different position as viewed by their client, that I get to deal with an owner of the company, not just an advisor.
I think it makes difference with everything. You know, we saw the firms that I've been at where there's ownership. I mean, you see the advisors, you know, taking the copy paper and turning it around so you can reuse it, you know, because they own it. It's not, they're not wasting it, you know.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's an amazing transformation. And by the way, you know, it's always been great in this business that you can come from, you know, a modest background and really make something for yourself and your family. But a way to build real wealth is to own, you know, some equity in something where it's not just you, but it's 100 other advisors, or, you know, 200 other advisors that are working towards the same goal. Then you can really build wealth for your family. I mean, you know, substantial wealth.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also you've got a lot of advisors and branch managers and people that are owners. There's a lot of friendships. You know, we have branch manager meetings, we have wealth symposiums. We just got back from the big island of Hawaii. We had a lot of people there. We're going to Banff in Canada in September. We'll have over 200 people go. It's, you know, it's kind of a shared ownership of relationships with people. We're still a relationship business.
Yeah.
And people have relationships all over the country. There's, you know, it's priceless. And then we can create wealth together by working together and owning our stock. And then we go out of our way to make our advisors' life easy. Our goal is to take 2 or 3 hours a day. And I don't know that we're perfect at it. We're not, I'm sure. But take 2 or 3 hours a day off the laps of our advisors of stuff. And, you know, whether it's operational or administrative or compliance or whatever it might be, red tape. And we hate red tape. We hate bureaucracy. We hate silos. We hate call centers. I'm not saying they're bad. We just don't love them. And if our advisors can have more time with their clients, more time with their families, more time with their friends, to exercise, to read, to do whatever they want, we're creating value for the advisor. And they're not working on some operational problem where they have issues and they get tied up and they get frustrated. We have very little of that happen at Edwards.
You know, it says relationship business, which I agree with. You know, our industry is challenged, I think, by the fact that we're not bringing young people into the business, you know, and it's also an apprenticeship business, right? I mean, you learn by watching and doing, and this pandemic has kept people at home. It's just a challenge. I mean, and this is sort of my latest high horse, which is trying to, how can we, you know, get younger people in the business in an entrepreneurial way, not like the way the big banks are doing it now, where they're hiring new people, but they're making them salaried employees. I don't see how that's going to work long term.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't think it will work real well. I think the people that get in our business, they've got an entrepreneurial bone, and they want to achieve something that has purpose and meaning. And, you know, the sky's the limit in our business, because you can call on anybody. And the top advisors that we have, the main difference is they just build more relationships with more people.
Yeah. And
they have more assets because of that. They listen well, they reach out, they're like a doctor, they diagnose, they're like an architect, they design financial plans for people. And they're like a, you know, construction place. They build the building, they build the relationship. And I think that's what clients want. I'm so optimistic about our future, in spite of, you know, the robo advisors and discount places. Those are fine and they're for somebody, but those aren't our clients. Our clients want a plan for the rest of their life that may be imperfect, but that's really quality and they can trust, and that they get behind, and they can feel peace of mind for the rest of their life. They'll never run out of money, and that their family's going to be fine. And that's really what we do. And we love doing it. That's why I can't wait to get to work every day. I can't wait to talk to our advisors around the country. I've been in their shoes and I loved it, but I also love the leadership end too. I have a lot of fun with that.
Well, I'm gonna say let's leave it on that high note. That's a great place to stop. So appreciate you spending time with us, Tab. We'll do it again. We'll make sure that we talk again.
Hey, that's great, Tony. Thanks so much. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.